Finish him!
Okay, hi all, my name's James from James Baby Music, and we're going to continue our little experimentation into soloing and some concepts that may help you come out of your soloing ruts and try something different. I like to call this one Finish Him, is in the Mortal Kombat, with the idea of it's all about our kind of finishing note. And we're going to really look about really making yourself super aware of the note you finish a phrase on and how important that is. Okay, so it's all going to be about phrasing, playing with 12-bar blues, but really thinking how you're going to finish every phrase and how that relates to the backing track. With this example, we're going to be playing an A major blues. We're going to play around with some pentatonic scales and play around with different things. I'm not being that rigid about the chords I use. It's more about the kind of finishing notes. So the first thing we need to do is think about if I'm just going to play over a static A. Okay, so if we take our 12-bar blues down to a 1-bar blues, so just the A over and over again. Okay, if you think about our A chord we're using there, okay, we can think about different notes to use for that. Okay, the first one, the first one being the root note. Okay, root note is A, so we could finish a phrase on A. Yeah, finish on the A, or finish on the higher A, or even the lower down. So, finish on the A note, that's one way of looking at it. We could finish, if we want to, on the 5th, which is E. So we could play our little blues phrase, but we're going to try and finish on E. Okay, finish on the E, either the E here or the E here. Okay, we could finish on the major third, which might sound a bit interesting, which is going to be our C sharp. So that could either be here, that could be here, or we could jump up to here. Okay, fantastic. Really thinking about those ending notes and how they fit in with that chord. The last one we could do with this, we could finish on the dominant 7th. So we could finish on the G natural, which is here, or here. So. Excellent. So, depending on whatever note you choose to finish on has a complete difference to it, but you really want to try and, again, if you want to help fulfill the chords and kind of help outline the chords within your solo, they're probably the 4 notes you do want to finish on. Now, again, disclaimer, I'm not saying you can't finish. You could finish on that B flat. There's nothing stopping you on the flat 9th. You could do that, absolutely, if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Very kind of jazzy, very nice chord you make there. But for a kind of quite standard kind of 12-bar blues, you sometimes want to finish on one of those 4 notes. So the next thing to consider then is, and this is where it gets a bit harder, when we think about how that 12-bar blues works, we want to be thinking root, 3rd, 5th and 7th for all our different chords. So if I just give us now a static D chord, so again, I could play our root on the D, yeah. I could play our 3rd. I could play our 5th, which is the A. Okay, I could play our 7th, which is C natural. Perfect, yeah, exactly the same. And what's quite interesting when you think about it is, this is where, when you put the whole thing into the context of the 12-bar blues, that A note I was playing there, it's the 5th of the D, but it's the root of the A as well. So those completely the same kind of stuff. Okay, and the last one is our E chord. And again, we've got our root, which is E. note, which is the 5th of A. We've got our major third G sharp. Etc. We've got our B, which is our 5th. Yeah, we've also got our D, which is our dominant 7th. Perfect. So, as we go through that chord sequence, we want to start thinking about those chord tones. Okay, so we're going to try that as a full 12-bar blues. Okay, so I'm going to play my 12-bar blues. I'm going to be really, really simple. Okay, I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to try and hit those chord tones. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with our A. So A to D. I'm just hitting chord tones every time. I'm going up to the F sharp for the D, to the C, and the C sharp. Okay, I'm going to the B for the E chord, then the A for the D chord, then back to C sharp, and then to an A. Okay, whole thing again. So A chord. Okay, just chord tones. Okay, to the D chord. Back to the A chord. All I'm doing there, all the way through, I'm just hitting chord tones as those chords come into it. So it takes a bit of time to kind of get. You really have to kind of know your chords, know your chord tones. What kind of helps me, I think about the cage system. So everything's around the 5th fret for me. So I'm thinking A chord here, D chord here, E7 chord here. Okay, so I've got my constant kind of note under my fingers. So have a little play with it. You'll suddenly find your blues soloing starts to come alive a bit. What's quite good as well is you can do it without a backing track if you kind of use this kind of method. So if I'm going to play my A. So with something like that, you're implying those chords behind it, even though there's no chords there. So, hope that's useful. Play along with it. Again, this isn't the only way to do blues. There's loads more stuff you can add to it. But if you're in a bit of a rut, okay, think about that finishing note. What note are you going to finish on? Excellent. I'll see you next time.